and read over here. The topic is verbs, and the class is class 6. The reference book which I have referred to the topic is for our Oxford book because we are using it, so we need to be out of that. Along with Oxford book, I have also gone through Ellen, and along with Ellen, I have also seen resonance. So I'll be going little wider in the topic because in class 6, in our books, it's only translated, and in translated they have stick to it. But then obviously, as teachers, we can take them higher, as Mr. always says, and our all principals or everyone says that we can always take the students to a higher level. We have to reach that foundation level. And I think in RPS Olympiad also they always say that whenever we have RPS Olympiad, if you are giving RPS Olympiad for class 5, they put questions from class 6 as well. So I'm taking this topic, and the book is only translated, but at the same time I'll be taking the topic little higher, which is in class 7. Again, I'll just be touching, but at the same time I keep in mind that these are new concepts for class 6 child. So I will not delve into the topic and go into every detail, but at the same time I make sure that my child has a concept that what are these types of words. Right? Again, to start with my topic, I will just do a quick activity with you all. You can be at your places and just do the activity. What you have to do, all of you know Simon. Simon is like favorite of all English teachers, right? So I'll be saying some actions which you have to perform. When I say Simon says, then you have to follow the action. If I only say the action, you don't have to follow. Okay, got the task. Again, I repeat myself. If I say Simon says, then only you have to follow the action. If I don't say Simon says and I say some action, you don't have to follow it. Right? Simon says stand. Simon says sit. You have to be fast, okay? Simon says stand. Simon says sit. Simon says raise your hand. Wiggle your finger. See, most of you are like, I did not say that. Yes, I know. Right? So now again, let's have one more round before we start the topic. Simon says stand. Simon says sit. Simon says hands up. Simon says clap once. Okay, hands down. Those who have their hands down are all out. Yes. I do not say Simon says, right? I hope you enjoyed the activity. Now, in this activity, what all action words did we take? I said stand. Sit. I said sit.
Raise.
Raise. Clap. Yeah, wiggle your finger, clap, and so on. Right? Wiggle. So, now, this concept that the action words are all words. Right? Action words are all words. This concept was taught to us right when we were in class 3. Right? This is a common concept. Everyone knows. Even a class 4 and 5 child can teach you what are words. You say the word verbs, what are verbs? The first definition you will hear, even from children sometimes. The first definition which comes in everyone's mind is verbs are action words, right? But as I said, we will be going little beyond that. Okay, verbs absolutely are action words, but besides action, what are verbs? Besides action, what action do they perform in a sentence? So if I say verbs, I may have action, I may have state of being. All of you are correct. Or it may also be telling you the possession, right? So, can you give me one more example of it? Action we have already performed right now. So many actions we have, right? So let's take the simple example which we took right now. That was stand, right? So stand, sit, whatever you can perform. If I say cry, you can cry. If I say laugh, you can laugh. Means whatever action you can see, these all are part of words. Definitely, this children know. Now, as my Vygotsky says, the psychologist in education, he says that you have to take children to zone of proximal development. What is that? Known to unknown. So we start with known what they already know, so that they feel comfortable in the class. So now they feel happy here. So we get this part we know, right? Now, what is state of being? Can anyone give me an example of state of being? Means which is ऐसी है. So what is the state of being? For example, you ask me, how are you? I say, I'm fine, thank you. Right? I say, I'm fine. So what is am over here? Am is state of being. Again, if I say, what did your sister become when she grew up? She became a teacher. Now what is became? You can't do anything of that. You can't perform the action of became. You appear upset today. What happened? You appear. appear cannot be performed. It's something which is visible on your face, right? So this is also called state of being, right? And the third point, words, which says that words also tells us the possession. How do I say possession? Can you give me an example? I have. Wonderful. Like I have a pen. Now, I is my subject. He is my verb. I have what? An object. A pen. So it is my object. So what is have over here? It is telling me the possession. Right? So simply telling the children that yes, definitely you all are right, because we cannot say, oh, you don't know that. No, we can't say that. We say, absolutely, we appreciate that you know verbs are action words, but at the same time, they are not more than that. Right? So they are your state of being and they are your possessions. Right? So basic definition of verb is clear to everyone, I guess. Right? Now we will move to the types. Some I have mentioned over there, but I'll be again going little more. Now, let's start with the types of verbs. What types of verbs can we have? First of all, we may have verbs as our main verb or our auxiliary helping verb. Yes, you are right. The other name for main verb is lexical, helping, auxiliary. So these are just synonyms. So you can use it vice versa. That is absolutely fine. Now, in main verbs, as is given in our Oxford books, in main verbs we have two types of verb. What are they? Transitive and intransitive. Sorry for the bad handwriting. Now, what are transitive and intransitive verbs? Now, simply, first of all, if we go with the definition, because along with explanation of the topic, we have to go with the books also. So according to book, the definition says that the words, you can read from here, words must have an object or objects to complete their meaning are called transitive verbs. At the same time, what are intransitive verbs? The words that do not take an object to complete their meaning are called intransitive verbs. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Now that was definition. Now the child wants to know, definition is fine, but how do I attempt it in the exam? How do I get marks in Olympiad? That is more important for the child. This is fine that first of all they have to look for object. How do they look for an object? If I give you a sentence and in that word, or definitely word is part of sentence, so without word a sentence cannot exist. So if that word is having an object or not, how do we know? ये तो आपने बोला कि fine object is there. But how do I know this there is object or not? How do I know there is some object can be direct, indirect also, but how do I know that? Tell the child that there is a trick to remember that. You ask the question, what and whom, right? This everyone knows. So we ask the child that you have to ask the question, what and whom, to know what is the noun which is affected by the action. For example, now I give you this example, you have to tell me. The baby cries. Transitive or intransitive? Why it is intransitive? There's no object. How do I know there's no object? First of all, the baby is subject. Cries is the verb. So object or complement, both the things are missing. But if I say the boy walks on the terrace. Okay, what is the boy? Subject. Walks is my verb. On the terrace. What is on the terrace now? Now the child may say कि मैम उसको है उसको noun है so why according to the definition it is saying there should be an object तो noun ही है तो object है why it is intransitive yes if I am saying on the roof it is giving you answer of where it is not giving you answer of what and who. And at the same time, you can also tell the child that the object should be affected by the action. Okay. Now, if the boy is walking on the roof, is there any person or any noun which is affected by the action? Definitely. There is no transition. Yes. There is no transition of effect of the word to any object or to any noun. Right? So this is how you can tell the child how to attempt in the question paper. Right? Now, we move to intransitive. In intransitive, we further have verb of action. Like just now I gave this example, the baby cries. Now cries is the action, but it is intransitive. Why? Because there is no person or no object which is affected by the action of crying of the baby, right? And if I talk about verb of being we have just discussed right now, like how are you? I'm fine. So again, if I am fine, there is no person or no object which is affected by the action, right? I hope this concept is clear to everyone. Now, let's just quickly judge it. How these are two classes, transitive and intransitive, and I have few sentences. I would request one by one you can stand up and tell me the sentence will go in transitive box or intransitive, right? Yes, first one, please read it. The rain fell. The rain fell. It's transitive or intransitive? Intransitive. Why is it intransitive? There is no verb to say yes. The rain fell. Subject is there, verb is there, but do I have an object? Definitely no. How do I know I don't have object? Not getting answer of what I object. Wonderful. Now, next one, let's see. The baby sleeps. Why intransitive? Again, you don't get answer of what I do. For a child's perspective, if you see, the child will directly look for answer of what I do. The baby sleeps, what? No answer. The baby sleeps who? No answer. So it goes in intransitive. Next one, okay. Next one is the dog barked. Again, intransitive. Okay. Next one. Let's see. She reads a book. Why? She reads what? You are getting answer of what? She reads what? A book, right? So, who is getting the transition effect of the word the book, right? Okay, next one. This one. The flowers bloom. Intransitive again. Subject flowers bloom is the action. But is there anyone or anything which is affected? Definitely. So it goes in intransitive. Wonderful. All right. Now next one. They built a house. Transitive. Why? They built what? They built what? See, all of you are now. We are not going to definition. We are going to how I told you how to attempt the question. So for a child, it is important to learn how to attempt the question as well. Okay. Next one. She wrote a letter. Transitive. She wrote what? So you get the answer, right? Alright. Last 2, 3 are there. He ate an apple. Transitive. What did he eat? An apple. So you get the answer, right? So it goes in transitive again. Next, the bird sing. Intransitive. Why intransitive? No. So now this is clear to you. But a child may come to you. Now, you said there has to be a person or an object. But what if I have both? The question arises, what if I have both? For example, my mother gifted me a bicycle on my birthday. Very simple example of daily life. Again, please listen to the example. My mother gifted me a bicycle on my birthday. Who is the subject? My mother. What is the word? Gifted. Gifted whom? Me. So please remember, whenever you get the answer of whom, it is your indirect object, and answer of what is? Direct object. So in this sentence, when I say my mother gifted me a bicycle, so gifted whom? Me. So me becomes intransitive. Gifted what? A bicycle. Now, another question arises. Where again, I've seen some of the teachers are also confused. What if I have only whom in the sentence? What hey? Then it will be direct or indirect? Same in RPS Group. Ma'am, it will be direct. It will be direct. So, for example, I say Rohan hit Sohan. Yes. Rohan is subject. It is the verb. Now you say, shouldn't we ask you that, ma'am? Now it is giving you answer of who. So how come it is direct? So you have to tell them when there is no object, who goes as the direct object. And when you have two objects in a sentence, it is called transitive to head. What is it? What else? Ditransitive. We call it ditransitive. Then we move to maths words. Now, if I have 3 objects in a sentence, tritransitive. This is not mentioned in any of the books, but again we need to know That as a teacher we should know, because the child are very curious. Children are very curious. They may say, "Ma'am, 2 hai to try. Okay, what about 3?" And it will be tried. If you have 4, you have 4. Okay, so you go to maths terms. That transitive word will be there, but then again you have to go with the number of options. Okay, according to that you have to. I hope the first part is clear to everyone. Right? Now we move to helping verbs. Right? Helping verbs. Again, since the grammar topics are all connected, we see in helping verbs, first I'll be taking models. What are models? Models are first of all, as we have written, it's helping verb. Right? What about helping verb? What do they do? What is their action? Expressions. They tell you the mood of the speaker. As you're saying expression right now. Mood of the speaker. What else? Permission. Yes. So permission in request form, necessary form, and how. Right. Okay. Now what else? You may have possibility. Yes. Necessity. Possibility. Necessity. Etc. Okay. This everyone knows. Now the child will definitely ask you, ma'am, whatever we are learning, what is practical use? Where do we use models in our life? You can tell, giving this Hindi example to your child. In Hindi, you have tu, tum, and aap. If you have to talk to a person, right? But in English also we have, but you never recognize, right? In Hindi, if you are talking to your friend, you may use tu, and sometimes the brother or sister or the sibling is little elder, you use it tum, and for mother and all, yeah, when you are more respectful, you use aap, right? In English also we have same, and that is the role of models, right? When you are talking to your friend in very informal situation, you don't have to be very respectful. At that time, what word do you use? Can. Can I borrow your pen, please? Can I share your book? Right? When you are talking to your teacher, you have to be more respectful as compared to your friends. Right? You use may. And when you are talking to your boss, maybe principal, maybe your coordinator, and maybe Papa's or the friend's mate or the manager, right? There they are going to use more respectful word that is good. Okay, good is also used in the context when you are talking to a stranger. Suppose you are outside somewhere, you lost your phone, and you have to ask the stranger to give his phone. And yeah, so you cannot be rude. You give your phone. You have to be respectful. So that please use your phone for a minute. So there was good. That means more respectful. Right? So models are a type of helping verbs. And what are other helping verbs? As we have written over here, it says other helping verb do, does, has, have. What is role of these? They come with the main verb, acting as the helping verb, and helping us to complete the sentence. Yeah, you link the sentence. Right? These are clear helping verbs. Helping verbs are clear, I hope. Alright, so let's move to next one. Another type, which is regular and irregular verbs. Now, what are regular verbs? Now, you don't have to mug up the definition. Go with the words. The meaning are hidden in them. Regular means, if I say I'm a regular customer of yours, means you go on daily basis. Right? Usually the action is done. Right? So when I say a regular verb simply means a word which follows a usual pattern, which obviously it should happen according to the child. Because when a child is small, first of all, we teach them concept of form. Then we teach them how to form the past form of it, how to form past participle, and so on. But the first thing when we teach a child is the past form. Like sir discussed right now, paint becomes painted. Right? So the child knows that if I have V1 and I have to make V2, I have to add VD or D in the case the word is fishing. Right? So this is the usual pattern which is to be followed and for forming V2 and V3. Right? When I am talking about irregular, so what is my irregular word? Irregular means not following the pattern. So again, you don't have to look up definition. Regular means following the pattern. Irregular means not following the pattern. So what are these? See, what will be V2? So saw, see, right? By got, right? So this is how you can teach a child that regular simply means following the pattern and irregular simply means Loved, regular, right? So, this one, alright. Next one. Played, regular, following the pattern, right? Next one, walked, regular. Next one, let's say this one, irregular. Why? Break, no, it is not following ED pattern, right? And next one, jumped, regular. Next one, ate, eaten, not following the pattern, irregular. Alright. Open one, irregular. Alright. Last one, irregular. See, saw, see, irregular. Right? So I hope this concept is also clear to everyone, regular and irregular. Now, one more type I would like to take here, which is again not there in class 6, but you can introduce to your child. That is finite and infinite works. What are finite and infinite works? The topic will start to non-finite. The topic will start to of tenses, where my tense is changing according to the person, according to the timeline. So these type of verbs are called finite. So I always teach my children, remember the word changing with finite. Okay? And non-changing with non-finite. Now changing, okay, you know changing. When? What is the condition? Remember, two things you have to take care, tense and verses. If these two things change in a sentence and the word change its form, it will be finite. And if try to change the sentence, now suppose if MCQ comes in the question paper that the sentence is he plays football. Now identify the word play is finite or non-finite. How does the child know? How does the child know that this is finite or non-finite? We always guide them, change the subject. If it is singular, make it plural. If I am saying, suppose I say, he plays. He, change it to they. Is it changing its form? Yes. It will become they, play. So is it finite or non-finite? Finite. If it is in past tense, change it to past tense. He, play. So you see, in both the condition, if you change the tense or you change the person, the form is changing. So that is going to be a finite and definitely the one which is non-changing. Remember like this, non-changing, non-finite, finite, changing. Right? Now we don't have to delve into gerunds and participles and finite and all that. We don't have to go into that because it's class 6. Okay, so we have to stop there. But we can introduce the concept of finite and non-finite in class 6. That this is how you can identify the question. And in other Olympiads also, it comes. Then identify class 6 it is there. That finite and non-finite they should go. Identification is only required in classes. Further on you can go with the types in class 7 and class. So that was all from my side. If anyone has any query or any suggestions.